Hey, so why don't witches and wizards that are controlling fire magic ever catch their clothes on fire? Hey, my name's Morgan Springlace. I've got a book coming out summer of 2024 called The Witches of Serna. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the magic system in it. Magic is a collection of the various latent energies in the world and the physical laws that are surrounding them. And there are three main kinds of uses or channels of magic: book magic, blood magic, and borrowed magic. Book magic, sometimes called wizardry, is very much an academic study, focusing on the nature and the rules of magical energies, deriving formulae, incantations, rituals, runes, various methods and mediums of evoking those magical energies to accomplish something. Book magic is very flexible in what it can be used for. It's very agile, but it can only use the energies in the immediate area. As such, it's limited in the power compared to other magics. But again, more agile things that it can do that other magics generally can't do. Instead of sewing together a garment, there might be a charm to stitch it for you. Instead of scribing a copy of a document or a scroll, um, there might be some kind of charm for reproducing that document. Instead of sleeping, there might be a charm to just stay awake all the time or nearly all the time, and the energy is made up through eating. But then there's blood magic, which is nearly the opposite of book magic, also called blood sorcery or just sorcery. Something that everyone in this story has the potential for. Every single person in this setting that I've created has some kind of magical gift, and that's different for pretty much everybody. And it's based on their genetics. And even two people, say, for example, two fire casters, they will learn their powers in a way that's unique to them. So they'll be able to do things that another firecaster won't know how to do, or at least they'll be need to be shown how to do it. But for everyone, that potential is locked behind a barrier within their bodies, within their souls, uh, a very powerful barrier. And those barriers can be opened, but so often the process uh, for opening those barriers involves some kind of deep trauma, a trauma so severe that their body or their mind doesn't survive. And it's not a particular ceremony or ritual or anything. It's just receiving a grievous wound or fighting in a battle or seeing your loved ones die, things that can really destroy you. So most often, when people die of their wounds or they have a heart attack from the shock of a situation, those are the times when the trauma is deep enough that they could open their barrier. And therefore, an awakened blood mage or blood sorcerer is very, very rare, but they're significantly stronger than book mages. Clumsier too, where book magic has finesse and artistry, blood sorcery is raw power. It can crush and smash and destroy, or depending on the nature of it can do a lot, but it's a very gross movement. And in many cases, the blood sorcerer is the conduit themselves for the magical energy or the energies that magic is moving. Going back to the example of a fire caster, that sorcerer that's pulling all that heat because they're trying to make a ray or a ball of fire to throw, they're going to absorb some of that energy and catch their clothes on fire. At least until they reach a level of mastery that they can minimize the waste and entropy of that energy coursing through them. So, where a book mage might find a way to mingle fire and steel on a forge to create a stronger sword, sew a garment together, like I mentioned before, bind a book, stay awake all the time, a blood sorcerer with that gift of fire or other gifts potentially could lay ruin to a company of soldiers charging them, leaving just a field of burnt and broken bodies. Blood sorcery gifts are varied, and depending on what the gift is, they might not even know what they're doing it. A sorcerer with some kind of power over charm or suggestion might just think that they're really lucky and good at getting their way. A sorcerer with power over plants might think that they're just favored when they pray for a good harvest. So it depends on how conspicuous their power is, and it depends on how much they use it. A well practiced and accomplished book mage would be hard pressed to match a neophyte blood sorcerer that is aware of their powers in a direct way, though a practiced book mage would probably find a way, based on their experience and their intuition, to indirectly defeat a blood mage. A blood mage, well practiced in their craft, could usher in a golden era for their community, or they can bring cities to their knees. But I haven't really gone much into the third form, borrowed magic. And it's exactly that. It's borrowed from someone else. In this case, borrowed from supernatural beings. This can be anything from being possessed by some kind of divine being, or the grace of a divine creature allowing you a portion of their power through your prayer. Maybe a character made a deal with a demon or a contract with a fairy. They've drawn a sigil and summoned and harnessed the power of another spirit, or really anything that runs the gamut there. This has the most danger to the magic user themselves, because anytime a powerful spirit gives you something of theirs, it's because they want something in return. Either they're going to take a price from you, years off the end of your life, your firstborn child, etc., or they want you to do something. But either way, there's some kind of price. If the magic user is compelling the spirits to give up a portion of their power, or directly harnessing them to do things for the summoner, like any creature, if they're forced, they're not going to like it. They're going to be looking for loopholes in the laws of magic and creation. They're going to find a way to avenge themselves or take some kind of compensation. So that's a quick overview of the system of magic in the Witches of Serna and the books that are going to come after that. So hopefully this was interesting to you. If so, please take a look at the first 3 chapters at the link in the description, considering liking, subscribing, following, what have you. Thanks.